What's up, YouTube? In this video, we're going to take a look at optical preview in the viewfinder on a DSLR versus digital preview on the LCD screen on the back of the DSLR. Now, the differences are when you're looking through the optical viewfinder, it's going to stop the lens down when you use the preview so you can see what your actual depth of field is. So I basically have this set up right over here. It's very, very simple. Just the edge of a battery package. And I've got my camera set up super, super close. And the lens is set to 7.1. And I've got an action camera mounted to the back, so I'm going to start recording. And you will see when I do the preview, if you pay attention to this section right here, right now the lens is wide open because that's how the camera is going to acquire focus. And then what ends up happening when you stop it down, you'll notice it'll get darker and this area right here will get sharper. Versus if I open the lens all the way up, no difference. So let's close the lens down to say f11. And that's what you get. So that is optical preview in a nutshell. It's literally a preview of what your exposure and your depth of field will be without any electronic aids. Let's go to f22 and you'll see it's super, super dark. So that is optical preview. So it does actually come in handy when you need to check the actual depth of field of where you focused. Another thing you can do, let's just go to manual focus here. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to pull this off because I have this. Okay, let's actually zoom in so we can add some compression. Put it back in autofocus. Okay, now let's stop it down again. So that is what the actual depth of field would be when you take the shot, because the lens is going to stop down, then the camera is going to take the shot. Okay, so now for optical preview, you can actually use that in live view as well. So when you actually just move the trigger over, as you can see I'm doing that with my hand here. Not sure if you can see that button. Whoops. So this little symbol there. Some of the models of Pentax you actually need to enable that with by using the FX button. Now the lens is at f4, it's zoomed in, so there won't be any change. However, if we stop the lens down, you'll notice that it does change. If you look in this area right here, it gets sharper. Now let's go to digital preview. So go to button customization, change this to digital preview. And now what you'll actually get is just a digital representation. It takes a picture of the scene, stores it in the buffer just so that you can preview it. So you can check your composition and your actual exposure. So again, let's stop this down to say f29, should be really dark. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Let's open the lens all the way up. So that is basically what digital preview does. Let's go back to optical and we'll use the lens wide open. So there's nothing. It doesn't take a picture in optical preview. Let's stop the lens way down. And you'll see that it's more in focus versus wide open. So that's pretty much what it is. Now, the screen brightness on here is going to compensate if it's an underexposed image. So that's why optical preview is generally regarded as better to be used using the viewfinder, because when it stops down, it'll actually show you how dark the exposure will actually be at the same time as showing your actual preview. Well, there you have it. That is the difference between optical preview and digital preview. Digital is just so you can check your composition as well as what the scene itself will actually look like when you take the final picture. It stores the information in the buffer, then you can basically preview the image as it would be if you actually took that photo. Optical preview is through the viewfinder. You can also use it in live view, and all it does is show you the exact depth of field for the aperture of the lens that you've decided to use. So as you stop the lens down, it will actually close the lens down and show you a real-time representation of what your depth of field will actually be. It's been a slight confusing thing for some people. I'm just hoping that this clears up exactly what those two differences are. And with that said, if you like the video, leave a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. It does help out. If you'd like to support the channel, I leave that information at the bottom of the description. And if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below, and you will see me on my next video. I'm out. What's up, YouTube? In this video, we're going to take a quick look at optical